Hey, and welcome back to Managing My Money with Rosa. If you have student loan debt like I do, hang around. Today, we're going to talk about the student loan moratorium that was put into place back in March of 2020 by President Trump and what's going on with it today in December of 2021. So I don't know how much you pay attention to the news. Me, kind of little here, kind of little there. But on December 22nd, a couple days ago, in a press release by the White House, they extended the student debt moratorium, freezing student loan repayments until May of 2021. I don't know about you, but that affects me in a positive way. But keeping an eye on what exactly is going on with that student loan repayments. So before we get too far, I want to take a minute and look back at how this whole moratorium came into place and what's happened since then. So March of 2020, we go into lockdown and a lot of people lose their jobs, they lose their income, and the CARES Act comes out. And the student moratorium is one of the pieces that is put into the CARES Act that basically says student loans are 0% interest and freeze everybody's student loans. No one has to make a payment. And that's put into place through September of 2020. Well, as it's about to expire, August of 2020 comes along, President Trump extends the moratorium. He is going to put it in through December 2020, right about the end of the new year, and things are looking good. Well, between August and December, President Trump loses the election and President Biden comes in. So they decide to come in and put in a slight extension, a 1-month extension on the moratorium. And payments are paused this time until January 30th of 2021. I don't know, but personally, I think it was Trump trying to let the new Biden administration determine what they wanted to do from here. So during the campaign, Biden said, hey, we're going to eliminate student debt. Personally, I think that is back here. I think that's why it was extended 1 month to see exactly what Biden did when he came into office. Well, he comes into office in January, and one of the first things he does is extend the moratorium. Extend. He didn't eliminate my debt. He extended my debt. And he does that until September of 2021. Well, as it's about to expire again, lo and behold, guess what happens? In August of 2021, President Biden comes back and extends the moratorium one more time, February 2022. So this is where we were until about 3 days ago. And I started to make payments, trying to get ahead of the power curve, knowing that it was going to be expiring. I figured it was going to be like the rest of the moratoriums that came out of the CARES Act, and they were just going to be allowed to expire. And I don't know how much I believe Biden on his proposal, on his campaign promise to eliminate some of my student loan debt. So I've been making payments for a little while. Well, now all of a sudden it's been extended again. December of 2021, President Biden extends the moratorium again. And this time we have until May of 2022 before we have to start making payments. So gets me a little curious and wondering what exactly is going on. So if you are liking this video so far, I'd appreciate if you take a second to hit that thumbs up button. If you aren't already, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe and comment. What do you think is going to happen in May of 2022? As we go through this video, I will share with you what I think is going to happen in May of 2022. So thoughts on what to do until April. So the reason I picked April is because that's when the 0% interest will end, and May is when it's all going to kick back in. So until April, we have a little bit of grace. So if you owe less than $10,000, I have a thought. If you owe between $10,000 and $50,000, I have a thought on what you should do. And if you owe more than $50,000, I have a thought on what you should do. So take this as you would like, but these are my personal thoughts on where we should be going. So as I was doing research for all of this, and Biden and the whole campaign promised that he's going to eliminate up to $10,000 of my student loan debt, I really began looking at what's happened recently with that, because every time it's brought up, the question is always avoided or deflected or deferred. Well, in the press conference given on December 22nd by his press secretary, she stated that if Congress put a bill in front of the president, he'd sign it, but he's not even advocating for it right now. So, how exactly does that work? I don't know. All I know is that sounds like a blame game to me. So, here are the different things I would do based off of those categories. So, if I had less than $10,000 in student debt, I would be putting aside my student loan payment each month, and I would be putting it into a savings account. And I'll tell you why in a second. In April of 2022, I'd pay attention. What happens? If the moratorium is extended, I'd continue stashing that money. If it expires, I would immediately pay down what I've saved because it's 0% interest. And although you're only saving minimum payments, it doesn't matter. It's reducing that debt a whole lot faster than if you were putting it straight, if you wait until all of the interest comes back in. So the reason I put it in a savings account and not pay down this debt, because I don't know all the technicalities of it, but I know that when student loans are forgiven, it's basically considered income. And that income then becomes taxable to you at the end of the year. So when you do your taxes, you have to claim that as income. So I know that sometimes since Biden has been in office, he actually signed something that would make this not be looked at as income for your taxes. So I'm very interested to see exactly if he's going to eliminate this $10,000 because things are starting to be put into place so that you don't have to pay taxes on it later. So if it's given as, and we are allowed to, or he eliminates our up to $10,000 worth of student loan debt, I would pocket everything in my savings account and figure out a different place and a different thing to do with it. So if you owe between 10 and 50,000, I fall in this category. I basically owe approximately $37,000 in loan for my master's degree. I suggest the same things. I think you should continue to put money into a savings account. If it is extended, continue stashing it. And if it expires, immediately pay down everything that you have stashed. So I had been making partial payments. I was making anywhere from $50 payments to $100 payments. I am on the extended graduated plan because I can't afford a $500 a month payment. So being on the extended graduated, I'm basically going to be paying on the student loan for 20 plus years. So about 6 months ago, I decided, hey, I need to start knocking this down some. I was at almost 37. Now I'm closer to the 36,000 mark, but I still have over $36,000 in student loan debt. Well, in the thoughts of what happens if 10,000 of this is knocked off, great, I don't have to worry about that. But what happens if they actually do eliminate up to $50,000 in student loan debt? I've lost all of that money that I had put in to pay down my student debt. So changed my plan from making payments every month to January 2022. I intend on starting to put full payments into a savings account so I can see what happens exactly in April. If it expires, you bet your bottom dollar I'm going to pay down. I think it's roughly $1,000 that I'll have saved up by that point. I'm going to pay that $1,000 immediately. If it's extended, I'm going to continue stashing my $200 a month so that I can grow it and see what happens. If they eliminate $10,000, great. That reduces my debt from 37 to 27,000. If they eliminate up to 50,000, man, I am taking that. Every penny that I save, I am taking that and I am going to be putting it into my sinking funds and partly into investing. So if I owed more than 50,000, what would I be doing? Making payments, and making payments. Why? Because they're not going to reduce or they're not going to eliminate over $50,000. At least I don't think they're going to. So I would definitely make payments until it reached that 50,000. And once it reached that 50,000, I start stashing it all into the bank because 0% interest is 0% interest. And you pay it down so much faster than making payments once the interest rate comes back on. So when I make a $200 payment, that balance drops by $200. You can't beat that. So what exactly do I think will happen in 2022 or in May of 2022? I'm gonna be honest, I have some ideas, but no one truly knows. I do know I'm going to be paying attention in April to see what happens. Is it extended? Have they moved forward with a way to eliminate my student loan debt? I'm hoping something gets passed with eliminating my debt. If it does, that's going to change up what I'm doing. I'm definitely going to continue stashing money. And in April, if it expires, I'm making a one-time payment. If it is extended, I am still stashing my money. So really don't know what's going to happen. I would love to hear what you think is going to happen down in the comments below. Now, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today on Managing My Money with Rosa. I'd love a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I hope you have a great day. Bye, guys.